传奇播客大咖专访栏目由 QQPK 特约播出。
The Triton Super High Roller Series here in Vietnam, and it is none other than Triton OG Webster Lim.
You mentioned 2019.
Yeah.
That year, it may be the best, most important year in your poker career.
Yeah, it was a great year.
Right. And before London, I think the previous Triton series was in Monte Carlo or
Montenegro.
Montenegro.
Yeah.
You played 12 or 14
Yep.
events. You just got one cash.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the darkest moment.
I wouldn't say so, because being a poker player, there's always pressure, and then I was more of like a cash game player back then, so I kind of have like a cash game to balance it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wasn't too bothered.
Oh, okay. But later, you got cashed on the £1 million that invitational.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that is the voice of Haralabos, who sits with 904,000 here at one of our other non-pro tables, featuring Kerry Katz, the man we know as El Jefe, and one of the tremendously influential entities who are here participating in this Triton Million. Kerry Katz, founder of Poker Central, who has a heck of a resume. We touched on it earlier, but he has the record for most cashes in Aria events, high roller specifically, with 62 of them. And here he is making it 13,000 with King 10 suited, picking up Webster.
Yeah, Kerry, absolutely. He plays against some of the best players in the world on a regular basis, and it's improved his game immensely. Like, he is a force, absolutely, especially in this non-pro side. He's got to be one of the, top players on that group.
One of the worst flops in the world for him here as he's up against kings and fives. Webster check raising the 15K up to 46. Katz with the snap call. Another 92 sliding into the middle. Oh, hello, Ten of Hearts. Sweet relief.
Sometimes it's better be lucky than good. You would imagine the chips are going to get in here at some point, whether it's now or the river. And Kerry looks like he's going to double up.
Well, we'll see if the rest of his 511 will meet the middle and be called.
So these chips are going to get in, I mean, barring some sort of a miracle.
And the call, 3 on the river, doesn't counterfeit either holding. So kings and fives against kings and tens with 337 in there. And Kerry choosing to flat on the end means Webster can comfortably fire another barrel here.
Well, look at that. Oh, boy. Here we go. So all in with kings and fives. You got to think that's the best hand. You weren't raised in the flop or the turn. And Kerry sitting there with kings and tens thinking to himself, this could be a problem for me. If my opponent has 3-5, if he has king 3, if he flopped a set of fives, several hands from the big blind that he could be up against that he just can't beat. And, Kerry in these spots, he doesn't just automatically call where most players would. He's going to really think it through. But ultimately, I think, you're obviously going to make the call here with kings and tens.
Boy, it sure feels like a set of fives.
No, he's putting them on fives.
Well, he's halfway right.
He's using a time bank. Can't blame him in this spot for all your chips.
Could be a 4-6 or like an ace-4 of hearts. Beat that.
Well, now he's found a couple hands he can beat.
I can only beat a bluff. Think. Nothing else you'd bet.
Except king 5. It's the only hand that isn't bluffing here that Kerry can actually beat. What a really difficult predicament.
Webster's got him in the blender.
If I just check the flop, I get to the end for sure.
Kerry's one that plays a short stack really well. So he's going to look at that 400,000 stack and say to himself, I can come back. Wow, he's going to fold. Unbelievable. This is insane because that was a value bet with the worst hand and a fold from a better hand.
I'm going to want to see that one. I folded a huge hand. You have 6-4? 6-4? Ace-4?
No, I had you beat. I had kings and fives.
But yeah, I'll see soon enough.
And then on the October, the World Series in Europe or EPT Prague, everything happened.
Yeah.
So that result come from your study and grinding.
Yes.
Okay.
And some run good, of course.
Okay. Wow. So that year, your live earning is maybe more than 7-8 million.
Can't really remember. I think it was around there, 7 million for that year.
But later, the pandemic happened.
Yep, until 2022. Yeah.
So you were also locked down in Malaysia?
Yeah, I had like a long break for like 2 years, I think.
Okay. So during that time, you also grinding online?
Not that much. It was more of like a long break. Cause before that, I was at the same time I was kind of like burnt out. So I decided like a break, and then that break kind of took too long, I guess. It's like, yeah.